Trillions upon trillions of dollars will be flowing into the crypto market in 2025, and they're hoping you don't know about it until they're already positioned. As you can see here, the crypto market's currently sitting at $3.6 trillion in market cap, and we are at new all-time highs. However, this may look like a large number. It is actually quite small when we talk about the global financial system. We're talking hundreds upon hundreds of trillions of dollars in all sorts of other assets, and we're also talking about quadrillions in the derivatives market. So 3.6 trillion is really not that much. And the reality is the elites, the old money, the banks, and even leaders of country are itching to get in, but can't go all in just yet. Not until something happens first. But you see, until then, they're hoping you don't notice, you don't hear about it, you don't even pay attention, and only go all in after their position. Now, this may sound silly or cliche, but it's true. The majority of institutional players are still sidelined because of a lack of regulation. The majority of central banks and countries are still sidelined because they don't have the nod of approval from their largest trade partner in the world, the USA. But that's until now. In other words, if you're already invested in things like XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other altcoin for that matter, you're in a good position to see some life-changing gains. But how will all of this new money find its way into crypto, and why does it matter right now as we close out 2024? Well, it's virtually all but guaranteed that we will now have clarity around regulation for crypto and the most pro-crypto environment ever under a newly led SEC coming for the world's largest financial market, the USA. Now, currently, the United States is #1 in terms of its Bitcoin holdings and treasury. Right behind it is China, and then the United Kingdom at third. However, Donald J. Trump is the very first person to ring the bell at the NYSE since Ronald Reagan, and has even reconfirmed his commitment to crypto and is going to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And this is what will create massive implications worldwide, and ones that we will discuss in this video. And according to one under the radar video, which really doesn't have that many views, from a well-known Bitcoin influencer, his recent visit to Dubai, which is an economic center in the East, shined a light on some information that virtually no one else is privy to, and will create a domino effect that will set the world stage for things to come in the next year, and I believe create an environment, one that is so positive for crypto that we will never experience another opportunity like this in our lifetimes. So yes, I'll be discussing these things and what it means for XRP, your altcoin bags, and more. And as always, if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to be the wealthiest person in your family tree, be sure to smash the subscribe button. Let's get into the video. Hello, bull runners, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Paul. You can find me on Twitter or X at PaulieDeFi, PaulieDeFi. Now, that said, I really want to start this video quickly with the fact that the poly market, betting market, which essentially predicts things based on economic incentives. In other words, it's just a betting market. Users are currently predicting a 95% chance that the Fed will cut rates 25 basis points on December 18th. Now, if that sounds irrelevant, or maybe you don't fully understand it, this is basically really positive news for markets. Markets typically pump into news like this because this is going to make borrowing money a heck of a lot cheaper for many players and institutions and banks. And where there is cheaper capital, typically you get more economic activity. So markets typically rally. That said, on December 18th, we are expecting a rate cut, which will have a positive effect on markets. And speaking of markets, Donald Trump was recently at the NYSE, again, the very first president to do it since Ronald Reagan, almost setting the stage for what he wants to do for the economy. And in this video, he was interviewed by none other than Jim Cramer, probably the worst person to ever get financial advice from in history. There is such thing as the inverse Cramer, which means anytime he gives advice, if you did the exact opposite of that, you would have actually outperformed Nancy Pelosi this last year. And she is known as the best insider trader in history. That said, here we have Jim Cramer sharing Donald Trump's voice with the people. Let's listen to what he said.
You're embracing crypto, very different from the previous administration. Strategic Petroleum Reserve for crypto?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do something great with crypto because we don't want China or anybody else, and not just China, but others are embracing it, and we want to be the head. We're going to be ahead of AI. We're going to be way ahead of AI, and we've got to produce tremendous amounts of electricity. You know that it's unbelievable when you think that we need more than twice what we already have. If you think that's pretty for a specific industry, but we'll be able to do it. We have Lee Zeldin in charge of the environment. He's going to be giving us very strong approvals, I think, and he's going to make sure everything's good and clean and proper, but he's going to give us very fast approvals.
Now, here's what's interesting about him sharing that. Yes, we need to be an energy-rich country. There is a very strong correlation and actually zero correlation between energy-poor countries and then how wealthy they are as a country. In other words, as a country becomes richer, their energy requirements also grow in union. So that said, he wants to set up a Bitcoin reserve, and that's arguably going to improve the environment for Bitcoin mining as well. The United States is currently sitting on 198,000 Bitcoin, and as a country, we hold more Bitcoin than any other country in the world. But when you set the stage to acquire more and more and more Bitcoin from a national level, what you're doing is really giving the nod to other countries that this is here to stay, especially when you are the world's economic center. Now, really quickly, before we dive into those implications of creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve and how the rest of the world is going to operate, if you haven't already, go to bullrunners.com. You can find the link in the description below if you're committed to becoming a crypto millionaire in 2025. Now, obviously, that's not something that we can guarantee, but if you're taking your investing seriously, this is the platform for you because it's going to have not only the best education, we're also going to have live calls with our pros and experts where you can have your questions answered. You're going to be surrounded by other like-minded crypto investors, and they're constantly sharing alpha as well. You're going to have hundreds of hours of classes and courses. You're going to get altcoin picks at 5x, 10x, 50x, 100x. We're going to teach you how to do technical analysis like a pro, get DeFi yields like a pro, and ultimately you have nothing to lose and everything by checking it out. Now, here's the deal. All of the bonuses run out once we hit 1,000 members. It's been 3.5 weeks. We're currently at 934 members. We will hit the 1,000 members, and once we do, the bonuses run dry. You're no longer going to get that. But also, on January 1st, we are raising the price to $197 a month. Now, if you're already in or you're starting before that time, you will be grandfathered in and locked in at the $97 a month rate. So time is of the essence, my friend. If this sounds like something that you at least want to check out, you better do it sooner rather than later because we are going to hit 1,000 members and we are going to raise the price. And the reason we're raising the price is because we simply can't service more than 1,000 members that aren't absolutely serious. When people have questions, right? We can't get through everyone on some of these live calls. So we want to make sure that we're doing our best to really qualify people that are serious. And this is one of the easiest ways to do that. So if that sounds interesting to you, go to bullrunners.com. You can find the link in the description below, and there's a 26-minute video on the other side that will show you everything you get once you join. Now let's dive back into the video. And in this video from Mark Moss, who recently visited Dubai and went to a very low-key Bitcoin event, he shares some really interesting information surrounding the implications of creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve and how that's going to actually affect the price of Bitcoin, the price of XRP, and virtually every other crypto in the space. Let's listen to what he shares.
Share some world-breaking news. I literally just got home from what we call the capital of the capital. I'm talking about MENA. I'm talking about the capital of the Middle East, Abu Dhabi. But as I said, the Trump delegation, Eric Trump, Paul Manafort, they were all there. Now, really, this was about taking the Bitcoin conference to the capital of capital, the financial capital, to bring all of the sheiks in there. And what is going on, again, Trump sending his delegation, is the United States is about to announce a strategic Bitcoin reserve. This is happening. I'm going to show you a couple things here in a second. So the U.S. wants to announce the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now, at the same time, you have all of the Middle East, whether that's Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, etc., that all want to also do a Bitcoin reserve. Now, the problem is this game theory. Who's going to move first, right? So it always kind of comes down to who's going to move first. Now, the problem is that the U.S. has already announced they want to do this, and the rest of the world is sort of waiting and watching to see what happens. But they don't want to move first, So Trump already threatened the BRICS nations. He said, hey, if you launch your own currency or do anything to move away from the U.S. dollar, there could be repercussions. So some of the world is sort of on edge. So they don't want to get caught. They don't want to be the last one to move on this. But at the same time, they don't want to be last. And so what's happening is the world is working directly with the Trump administration. As I said, the bridge is being formed, or the gap is being filled. And so basically they're getting ready and they can all announce it at the same time. So if you think you have time to prepare for this, you don't, because by the time this is announced, it's going to happen just like that. So that's exactly what's going on. They're afraid to move first, but they know they have to move because they know the Trump administration is doing this. There's a couple of things that are in Trump's tweets that you have to understand where this is at. So for example, he says, Bitcoin mining may be our last line of defense against CBDCs. It says here, we need to beat China and Russia, and we want all the remaining Bitcoin to be made in the USA. All the remaining Bitcoin to be made in the USA. It will help us be energy dominant. So you know that Trump ran on this platform of drill, baby, drill, turn the energy back on in the United States. And he says that the Bitcoin mining will help us be energy dominant. So his pro-energy platform is really dependent on Bitcoin mining, and he's very competitive, which is why he wants to do this.
Now think about that for a second. That video has 36,000 views, and that is it. Nobody is talking about the Bitcoin MENA event, maybe a few people. However, what Mark Moss shared there is extremely important and something we can't overlook. If you're a BRICS nation, sure, you have your own alliance, but at the end of the day, if you deviate away from the United States, considering so much money is in capital is flowing into the United States now under the Trump administration, in what might be the most regulatory friendly environment for virtually all industry, business, and capital in the world, if you step on the toes of the United States, we will simply withdraw our consumers from you, and then you become poor. If you try to take advantage of the United States in an economic way, Trump said he is going to impose tariffs on you to the point where your nation will suffocate. So at the end of the day, there is no way around it. The US is still the biggest economic player in the world, and everybody wants to do business with the United States. However, the United States does not have to do business with everyone else, especially if we are truly energy independent. And this all plays into crypto. This all plays into Bitcoin. And so as the market cap of Bitcoin, and arguably just crypto in general, continues to climb right now, again, $3.64 trillion. I could easily see this bull market cycle, and in 2025 hitting $15+ trillion. A lot of that capital is going to rotate and find its way into other major market cap cryptos and altcoins, and in specifically retail investors, people who really don't know what they're doing, are going to buy the biggest names and companies, things that are available easily and readily on Robinhood, eToro, Webull, Coinbase, you name it. They're not going to buy all of these under the radar altcoins, although those will also pump really hard. They're going to focus on the easiest thing they can possibly do, which is going to be cryptos like XRP, especially as now it has regulatory clarity. It's going to be a regulatory boon for virtually all crypto in the United States, and XRP is sitting at number 4 by market cap. So not only are we going to see more ETFs, not only are we going to see XRP get a spot ETF, not only are we going to see BlackRock filing very soon, mark my words, we are going to see nations wait on the sidelines to see what Trump does and announces. And once he does, they are all going to flood right in, because if they do it beforehand, they might be in trouble with the big, bad, and mighty United States, and no country really wants that. So that said, this might be the biggest opportunity of our lifetimes to create some real wealth inside of the crypto markets, and an opportunity like this may never come again. That doesn't mean that we're not going to see other cycles, we're not going to see other bull markets, we're not going to see other bear markets. It simply means that right now, before 2025, when Trump is in office, things are better than they've ever been. Now, really quickly, let's dive into some key metrics and the price action, and we will finish this video off. Right here, I have a chart on the exchange reserves. And as you can see, since the price of about $1.11 on November 15th, and I'll even increase the size of that, exchange reserves for XRP have consistently declined and into the new all-time highs and the local intermediate term downtrend, which we will discuss shortly. More and more XRP has been removed from exchanges. This is a good indicator that everyone is still bullish, and as the price is going up, they're actually buying it, withdrawing it from exchanges, and holding it for the long term. The only time I would typically deposit onto exchanges or see this number climb is when I want to get rid of my XRP or sell it. So whenever this purple line is declining, that is extremely bullish. Now, if you watched the video just yesterday, I am still bullish. I do believe we're going to get some new all-time highs. We saw a major sell candle here on the Korean martial law news, and you could see that there was a lot of sell volume. That said, since that all-time high, we've been in an intermediate term downtrend with a series of lower lows and lower highs. So if this is the previous high, this is the next high, this was the next high, potential double top here, low and low. As you can see here, we have a series of what? Lower highs. This high is lower than this high, and this low is lower than this low for a series of lower lows. Now, I did mention we could potentially get a bull trap right here. In other words, if we break below this trend line right here and get a low below this range of 230, yes, it's likely we're going to go for a new low or a potential double bottom right here at about $1.90. However, if we are supported right here, it's also possible that we start to trend to the upside. My only concern and why I believe we might still get some extra volatility is if you come over to CoinGlass, you go over to liquidation map right here under liquidation, click on that bad boy, and I already have, as you can see here. I'll even refresh it. You go to XRP, you do it on a 7-day time frame, and I can even get rid of Binance, OKX, Bybit, so on and so forth. And as you can see here, I'll get out of the way, that we still have a stupid amount of shorts on the table. In other words, people are far more short right now than they are long. We have about $340 million that are sitting long in this red side. And as you can see, the red side or this cliff is far smaller than the right side or the green side on the cliff. This would be your cumulative short liquidations. If the price of XRP hits $2.73, $555 million will be liquidated. In other words, whenever you get bigger cliffs on the right-hand side, this is a good indicator that the majority of traders are short. So it is possible that we are going to experience one last little trap like this, a breakdown. People will be liquidated before we are ready to make a new move to a new all-time high. I will also make a note of the fact that we are now starting to increase in terms of open interest. Open interest is just contracts or on futures or perpetual futures. And all that means is more and more contracts or leverage is being taken on because people are betting. So whenever you get the price like this going up and you also get open interest going up, that means longs are opening at the market. So even though longs are opening, people are still leaning heavy short, which is why I really don't want to take on any leverage right now. I don't want to overbet right now. So let's hop on over to the XRP chart and start looking at some other time frames. So now I am sitting on a daily time frame, and as you can see here, same exact chart, it's just we're looking at days, and we are currently ranging just below this trend line here. I'm going to toss this trend line up, and it looks like we might have a potential breakout, but I typically don't buy into these things unless I also see volume. And as you can see here, volume is consistently declining. It might even decline as we move up to that $2.70 some cent range. That said, I'm going to toss a 10 and 20 EMA up, and from a daily time frame, you can see that this 10 EMA, which is the blue line, has consistently acted as our trend line support for XRP, and then the 20 EMA is my last zone of support. So if we failed to hold the support, which we did, then I'd be a bit more bearish. But as things stand, we've held it. And so I do expect us to continue to range a little bit, potentially even go and close right below these lows at $2.20, potentially for like a $2.20 close, or sorry, $2.12 close before we're ready to make new all-time highs. And from a 4-hour time frame, again, you can see that this really isn't a great enough pattern to give me confidence in this breakout. If anything, this could be a potential bull trap, the market traps you in, and then you'd want to be a bit bearish. Again, a close below that $2.20 some cent range right around here on a daily time frame would be a bear trap, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a close right below these lows right here and a close right there, in my opinion, with a bullish engulfing candle or something that looks like this right here, or even this right here, will be very positive for XRP. So I don't believe we're done ranging just yet. I don't believe we're done fully with this intermediate term downtrend. So we still do have some time to accumulate. But when I see a longer term strong uptrend like this into a very positive crypto environment, I don't see any reason that we shouldn't be buying dips. This is where you actually make money, by buying dips and having courage in environments like this. So that said, if you enjoyed the video and you learned something new, be sure to subscribe. And also, the time is truly running out, ladies and gentlemen. Here we have bullrunners.com. You can find the link in the description below. We're currently sitting at 934 members, and guess what? It's only been 3.5 weeks now. We're coming up on the 1 month mark. We will hit 1,000 members by month 1. And by the way, on January 1st, we are raising the price from $97 a month up to $197 a month, and that's because we simply can't support more people at a cheaper price. We want to make sure that there is some quality control. We want to make sure that these community members are serious and committed to becoming a crypto millionaire in 2025. And we're doing our best to service them. The reality is, as we get more members, we simply can't answer all of their questions on live calls. So that's why it's so important that if this sounds interesting to you, that you at least check it out. And by the way, if you get started now, you will be grandfathered in at that rate. You're locked in at the $97 a month. You'll never pay anything above that. But if you wait till January 1st, you miss out. And also, if you wait till we hit 1,000 members, you miss out on all of the bonuses. That said, we have hundreds of hours of expert curated classes and courses to teach you how to be a crypto investor. We teach you how to do technical analysis like I do on the channel and from other pros. We show you altcoin picks that 5x, 10x, 50x, and even sometimes 100x. We show you how to take advantage of DeFi yields so you can put your crypto to work for you and earn interest on it. And ultimately, this community provides you a way to take your crypto investing very seriously. So again, one last time, bullrunners.com. You can watch this video to learn more, but time is truly running out, so you at least should check it out. That sounds like something that you'd want to do. So thanks so much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next video, my friend. Goodbye.